Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning into another video. Now, this video obviously is not going to be a usual sort of review video for me. This video is going to be about the Storm Spectre and obviously what is happening with that. If you haven't heard, the Storm Spectre has been revoked and is now no longer approved by the USBC. So we'll get into some different statements. There's one by the USBC, there's two by Storm. We're going to talk about what is the hardness testing, so the reason that the Spectre got revoked is because of its hardness. So we're going to talk about what happens during this hardness testing, how it's conducted. We're going to talk about what happens next, and we're also going to talk about what replaces the Spectre, at least in my bag. Before we kind of get into all of that, though, as of right now, as of the time of shooting this video, I have 677 subscribers. What's going to happen if we get to 1,000 subscribers? Well, I'm going to open up a Discord channel. That channel is going to allow everybody to kind of talk bowling, really kind of talk about the game, equipment, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to open up a Discord channel. We're going to talk all things bowling. 90% of you guys are not subscribed, so please, again, subscribe. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers, and we can open up a Discord channel, and we'll be able to talk all things bowling. Make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video to find out how you can save yourself 20% off of your I Am Bowling order. All right. Let's get into this. I'm going to kind of be jumping around between my notebook and my computer. I did a lot of kind of research to make sure I put out the best possible video for you guys. So this all started kind of on Friday night, which would have been, let's see here, that would have been the 12th, I think. It all started Friday night when there were kind of rumors going around that the Spectre was taking off of distributors' websites and you could no longer purchase Spectres. We kind of went through the entire weekend. I personally did not bring my Spectre along. I had state this weekend. I actually left the Spectre at home because I didn't want any sort of controversy by throwing the Spectre, not knowing what was going on with it. So then we get to March 14th, which I believe was Monday, and we get a statement from USBC. That statement reads, quote, USBC has revoked approval of the Storm Spectre bowling ball and removed it from the list of balls approved for USBC competition effective March 14, 2022. The revocation comes after USBC determines through its spot checking process or procedures that a significant percentage of the Spectres do not meet the minimum 73D hardness specification in the USBC equipment specifications and certifications manual. You can read more at bowl.com, whatever. The statistical analysis of the Storm Spectre indicated that a defect rate of 98.6, meaning that 98.6 of the Spectre bowling balls are projected to be outside of USBC's hardness specification limit. The USBC test bowling balls from multiple batches, and the nonconformance was not limited to a specific batch. Unapproved bowling balls may not be used in USBC certified competition. Bowlers who use the Spectre in competition before March 14, 2022, with no prior knowledge of their balls being out of specification, would not be subject to forfeiture under USBC rules. Now, according to the USBC website, bowl.com, there's a little bit more added to that sort of statement. But this is the statement that they put out on social media, being Facebook. This is basically the SparkNotes version. It kind of goes a little bit in depth, a little bit more on bowl.com. So that was USBC's comment on Monday, and this was Storm's comment on March 14th at 10:30 a.m. Quote, we were notified this morning that the USBC has revoked approval of the Storm Spectre bowling ball and removed it from the list of balls approved for USBC competition effective March 14, 2022. Rest assured that we will stand behind our product and take care of our customers as we have done in our more than 30 years of business. We are working through the situation and will share the process for those who have purchased the Spectre soon. We apologize for any inconvenience this caused to our loyal Storm enthusiasts, end quote. So that was Monday. Now we get to this morning on March 16th. And This reads, quote, "We are disappointed in USBC's decision on Monday revoking its prior approval of the Storm Spectre bowling ball. Our tests show and confirm that the Spectre meets all USBC requirements. Therefore, we disagree with this recent ruling. We pride ourselves in manufacturing the finest high-end bowling balls which we are shipping worldwide. When we create a new product, we do extensive testing prior to sending it to the USBC for approval. The USBC then conducts their own tests and own studies to determine if the bowling ball is certified for USBC competition. We then get approval notification from and proceed with the manufacturing process. All that occurred with the Spectre. English is really tough tonight, I'm sorry. Our customers are our priority and deserve the utmost service and respect. While we continue to walk through this ongoing situation with USBC, we want to do all we can to take care of our customers. We are currently working on a resolution and process to ensure that if you purchase a Spectre, you will have a product that you can use in USBC certified competition. We will have more information for our customers shortly." End quote. So, that being said, I'm going to jumble this up from what I actually had written down here. So I'm actually going to jump to a 2020 hardness report that the USBC conducted. They conducted this at the 2020 World Series of Bowling, and I believe the 2020 US Open in 2020. This hardness report, and I'm just going to take a bunch of spark notes from this 2020 report. I'm going to have all of the information that I am getting. So I have a USBC hardness SOP. I have this 2020 hardness report. All of this information is going to be linked in the description down below, so that way you guys can check my work essentially. So according to this 2020 hardness report, balls are harder when they're colder. They're also softer when they're warmer. So, in theory, this is just me, in theory, a ball that is tested in Utah could theoretically be harder than if they would test that same ball in Texas. Obviously, because Utah can be a lot colder and Texas can be a lot warmer. Again, that's just speculation on my part. That is, again, just pure speculation. Field tests, when they conducted these tests, this hardness report, field tests were between 0.8 and 1.8 softer D than in Texas when they were going through the approval process of these said bowling balls. Reactive balls, which is, the Spectre is a reactive ball. Reactive balls were testing 21.2% softer than during the approval process. They also tested 330 balls during the World Series of Bowling. They were also within the normal range. You know, they might have tested soft, but you expect that when you're testing in the field because obviously you don't have control of the environment like you do in a building in Texas. The lowest reactive ball that they tested at 69.4 D. Reactive shows little to no change to softness over time. They also kind of kept track of the brands. They did not name the brands in this report, but they did keep track of the brands. There was one brand that showed no change from the time they approved it to the testing they did during the World Series of Bowling. 5 of the other brands, they did 6 brands total, 5 of those other brands did drop in hardness, so they did get softer from the day they approved those balls to when they tested these balls at the World Series of Bowling. The largest was 1.2 D softer by an unspecific unknown brand. Reactive was testing on average 0.45 softer D when from the World Series of Bowling to when they were approved. So I just want to make those facts known. Now, how do they test bowling balls and how do they figure out how soft or how hard they are? So I went to the USBC standard operating procedure of the hardness. So I'm going to kind of paraphrase all these testing, how they do the setup procedure and how they test. I'm going to paraphrase this all. Again, if you want to go in and look at this SOP, I have it linked in the description down below. I also am going to put a picture up on the screen of the durometer they use, as they're testing this. So I'm going to place, hopefully I'm going to place an image. I'm going to place this image right here of the durometer that they're going to need. So you're going to need a durometer like this to be able to conduct such tests. Now for the setup procedure, they're going to secure the gauge or the durometer to said, whatever this is, the scale, the durometer, whatever. You're going to need to secure the gauge to said thing. You're going to place the ball in the cup. You're going to line the durometer. This is step 3. You're going to line the durometer to the center of the ball, to the center of the insert, or just align it over the ball. Step 4 is you're going to set the travel. I assume that means the travel height when you pull down that lever. The lever is going to be kind of off to the right side of that durometer if you're facing it. Step 5, you're going to perform a test, and then step 6, you're going to remove the ball. Okay, so let's get into the actual testing now. So step 1, you're going to want to get temperature readings on 4 different ball locations. The ball must be tested at room air, and that air has got to be between 70 and 77 degrees temperature. Again, the temperature does affect the ball's hardness. Again, the colder a ball is, the harder it's going to be. The warmer it is, the softer it's going to be. If the average of all 4 temperatures isn't within that 70 to 77 degree Fahrenheit range, you cannot test that ball. You're going to have to set it aside, wait for it to warm up or cool down or whatever you need it to, then you're going to have to come back to it. If it is within range, you're going to go to step 3. Step 3, you're going to turn on the durometer. Step 4, you're going to push and hold one of the buttons on the durometer so it reads the max value to make sure that it's working properly. Step 5, you're going to place the ball on the cup below the sort of needle, and you're going to make sure you avoid the serial number, the logos, basically any engravings that you have on the ball. Step 6, you're going to zero the durometer. Step 7, using even pressure, you're going to pull down on that handle until you cannot push down anymore. Then you're obviously going to lift up and allow the handle to return. Step 8, you're going to record that said reading. Number 9, you're going to rotate that ball so the next reading is in another random location. Step 10, you're going to repeat steps 3 through 9 until you have at least 10 spots that you've tested. You have to make sure it's as many random spots as possible, and you have to make sure that any color that is featured on the bowling ball, you did test. So again, the Spectre has red, it has gray. I think that might be it. You have to make sure you get readings from both colors. If you have 3 colors, obviously you have to test 3. If you have 4, you have to test 4, so on and so forth. Step 11, you're going to take those 10 tests and you're going to average those 10 numbers, and that's how you get your overall hardness. They do have procedures if a ball tests soft. I'm not going to go into that. And then the durometers are calibrated every 6 months. So that is the testing procedure. What happens when a ball is softer? So what can you expect out of performance when the ball is softer? There's many different kind of varying opinions or whatever the case is. I'm personally not going to get into that in this video. If you want to see me get into how a softness affects bowling ball performance, make sure you let me know in the comments down below. So that's kind of it when it comes to testing. So what happens next? What do we expect next from Storm, from the USBC? What's going to happen? So again, it's kind of just like a wait and see sort of thing. But again, Storm did mention while they are working with USBC, they are also working on a resolution and process to give customers a product that they can use. Basically, what that means is they're basically going to, and I don't want to put words in the mouth. This is purely speculation from me. I might be a staffer with Storm, but I do not have any sort of emails from headquarters, from Storm, as far as what the process is going to be. This is purely speculation on my part. Basically, everything I know is coming from the statements that are said. That being said, what we can expect from Storm is obviously, we're just going to have to wait and see for right now. See what happens with Storm. They're obviously working on a process to potentially replace the Spectre if they cannot work with USBC to figure out how to make this Spectre conforming or non-conforming. So, again, just be patient. right now, let's just wait and see what Storm says. They're obviously working on both sort of a plan A, plan B, but let's just wait and see. When can we expect something? We don't know. Hopefully it's soon. Again, I'm really hoping it's soon, but we really don't know. What can you do if you have a Spectre? According to the USBC, you cannot throw it at all. Period. End of story. Now, me personally, if the Spectre is the only ball you have, I personally would not turn you in for throwing it. Now, there might be a bunch of people who do things by the book. That's your prerogative. My prerogative is I want to see growth for the sport. I don't want to turn anybody off from the sport. One example from this is, let's say you have a bowler that comes in, it's his first ever ball. This pro shop operator said, okay, your first ever ball, a Spectre would be great for you. So now all of a sudden he comes to the league. Are you really going to tell that person, might be his first year of league, Spectre is his only ball, you're really going to go up to him and say, okay, you're either going to have to use a house ball tonight or you're going to have to sit out that ball that fits you perfectly, that you're raising your average by 2 pins every week that you bowl. You're really going to tell that person that you can't throw the Spectre because it's illegal and you have to throw a house ball or you can't bowl that night? Personally, I would not have that conversation with somebody. Kind of my reasoning behind that is, going back to balance holes. How many times did you go to nationals and potentially had a balance hole put in your ball, or you've seen a balance hole put in a ball or whatever the case is? That kind of means that there is a legal weight in that ball before that balance hole was put in there. Therefore, you can make an argument that that ball was illegal. So, nobody really turned you in for using that ball, before you had that balance hole in it. I kind of see it the same way. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that it's the same thing or the same situation, but I'm just saying that there have been illegal balls in the past. Just try and stay patient. Again, I still go places and see balance holes in different equipment. I'm not going to run to the league secretary or run to the owner of that bowling alley and say, hey, Jimmy Johnson over there is using an illegal ball. He should have a score thrown away. That's not how you grow the sport, in my opinion. You just got to be lenient. You got to just kind of just keep it out. Obviously, if you have, I have so many balls to choose from. Obviously, I'm not going to throw the Spectre. All I'm saying is you use a little bit of grace and a little bit of leniency when it comes to someone whose Spectre might potentially be the only ball that he has. So, again, I'm just telling you, be patient. There's not going to be a resolution tomorrow. As much as we really, really hope there would be a resolution to this tomorrow, there's not going to be. We'll know a little bit more in a couple days, couple weeks. This could potentially drag out a couple months yet. I don't know. I don't have the answers. I haven't seen anything from Storm besides the statements that I've read to you. So now that we say that, I obviously have access to a pretty decent amount of balls. I've kind of drilled up every single ball that has been released since August, essentially. So what am I personally going to replace the Spectre with? I would say the first option that I would suggest would be the Wolverine. The Wolverine is very similar to the Spectre. I've seen a lot of staffers really sort of compare it to the Spectre. The Wolverine is definitely clean. I think it's a little bit stronger in the mid lane than what the Spectre was. I think it's just a hair lazier on the back end, at least the one that I have drilled up. Now, I've seen a lot of people drill up Wolverines, and they just, they can't keep them on the right side when it comes to throwing the ball. So I think the Wolverine is a great option. My second choice would be a High Road Pearl. It's kind of the same as far as cleanliness. It's not as strong down lane as the Spectre was. But again, I think the High Road Pearl is probably as good a choice as any to replace the Spectre with. Now, I did get a new High Road Pearl today. I drilled it up, and when I laid this out, I kind of took into consideration replacing the Spectre with this High Road Pearl. I have it kind of in my favorite drilling, which I did 40 by 5 by 70, so that puts the pin just below my bridge, kicks the CG out. Basically any pin down drilling that I kind of done nowadays when the CG is flared out like that, I get some ridiculous back end motion. So that is the reasoning why I laid this High Road Pearl out. Whether this does replace the Spectre, I'm not sure, but I'm going to do some testing the next couple days just to see if it does end up replacing it. Some other options when it comes to replacing the Spectre is the Burner Pearl, the Electrify Pearl, the Hype Pearl, and the Hustle Wine, all of which would be great options in replacing the Spectre as well. So that's kind of the situation as of tonight, March 16th. It is obviously a very fluid situation. Anything major that comes after tonight or after the point of editing this video, I'll obviously make sure to put my 2 cents in if you guys want to hear it. So any breaking news or whatever the case is, let me know down in the comments if you want me to kind of offer my 2 cents. If you do have a Spectre, let me know down in the comments down below. How was it for you? Did you notice any sort of, did you kind of get the Spectre in your hand and realize, oh my gosh, this is a lot different than any of the other balls I've thrown? Or was it just like any other ball for you? If you do have a Spectre, comment down below maybe what you're going to think about replacing it with. If you've had that conversation with your Pro Shop operator yet, comment down below what your Pro Shop operator, if your Pro Shop operator has actually reached out to you yet. I've actually drilled 2 Spectres for customers. I've reached out to both of them. I said, hey, this is the situation. I'll be in touch as far, once I hear something from Storm, we'll be in touch as to what we should do to replace it or whatever the case is. So let me know down in the comments down below if your Pro Shop operator has contacted you regarding that. So that's about everything I got regarding the Spectre. If you want to save yourself 20% off of your next Logo Infusion or I Am Bowling order, you can use my promo code down below. It's going to be FireHouse07. You can use that at checkout to save yourself 20% off. It seems like they come out with new jersey designs almost every week. And not only do they have the jerseys, but they have quarter zips. They have t-shirts like this. They're a phenomenal company. They love America, and I love working with them. They allow me to do what I'm able to do nowadays. And same with Storm. Storm's fantastic. They've been great to me. Make sure you head over there and support them. Obviously, you can't buy the Spectre anymore as of the filming of this video, but they have umpteen amount of balls that you can use, and they're fantastic, fantastic balls. I don't have anything kind of coming down the road, so if you have any video ideas that you want to see me do, make sure you comment them down in the comments down below. That's all I got for you guys. Until the next time, good luck and good bowling.